I hope everybody is ready to hear about more winter weather and cold air because it is going to be the big topic for the foreseeable future. We got a lot to talk about. This video will be broken up into 3 different sections. The first thing we'll speak on is this quick hitting snowstorm potential Monday, just 2 days out ahead of us. And this will impact the same areas that just saw it Friday, except this could be a little bit further south into North Carolina. So we'll compare all model guidance and I'll give you my take on everything at the very end. And then we'll give you a quick update on this winter storm hitting the Midwest for tonight into tomorrow. And then we'll round off the video going over the potential for an Arctic outbreak as we get into the end of next week, really into next weekend. And there is a winter storm risk with that. So we'll go over it, and model guidance is really locking into this. So my name is Mitch. Good Saturday evening. Hope you guys are doing well out there and have had a wonderful weekend so far. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything I can pray about or pray over, please drop in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling. A lot to go over. So let's go over the NAM first, and then we'll go over the HRRR model and then some global models, and we'll compare everything, and then I'll give you my opinion on all of it. So we're going to start off around 2 a.m. Monday morning. All right, let's get this in motion. Little bit of snow already falling across areas of Kentucky, Lexington, Louisville, Frankfort. Let's keep this going all the way till about daybreak Monday morning. All right, this is Monday morning around 7 a.m. Eastern time. It's snowing in the Boone, Banner, Elk area, basically the mountains of North Carolina. Could it be snowing in like the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee? It's very possible. Mainly rain in Knoxville. This could change. Bristol, you're getting snow. Southwest Virginia, you are definitely getting snow. So it's snowing in the same areas that just saw it Friday. It's snowing in southern areas of West Virginia. Still snowing back here into Kentucky. Let's continue to get this in motion. It's all rain in Charlotte, Rock Hill, Columbia, definitely all rain. And then the NAM is aggressive. Please don't look at this and immediately lock in your mind that this is exactly what's going to happen. I want to compare everything, even the models that don't show much at all. Okay, but all of a sudden it shows us rain switching to heavy, wet snow in Raleigh, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. It's still snowing up here in western areas of Virginia. West Virginia is still snowing back into Kentucky as we're getting into mid-late morning. We take it to about midday Monday. This is lunchtime. It is not only snowing in Greensboro, Raleigh, Goldsboro, Greenville, North Carolina, Fayetteville. It is snowing heavily. It's even snowing all the way back into Charlotte at this point, Rock Hill, Hickory. And it's still snowing back here in areas of Virginia. West Virginia. Okay, we continue to move this forward. We get all the way into Monday afternoon. A low pressure tries to develop off the coast of the Carolinas and Virginia. And of course, we get back building of moisture getting thrown into some cold air to some place, and it's still snowing in eastern areas of North Carolina. It's now snowing in Norfolk, the Hampton Roads area. Does it make it all the way to Richmond? I think it does. I think it snows in Richmond. But it's still snowing back here in the mountains of Virginia. Southern areas of West Virginia. You got some snow flurries, light snow out here as far south as, well, southwest is Asheville. It's snowing in Bristol, switching to some snow in northeast Tennessee. And then we keep this going and we take it all the way to dinner time Monday, and it's done. Okay? That's the NAM. Everybody and their brother in the weather community in North Carolina was getting excited about that one, and rightfully so. What about the HRRR model run? Okay, and this only goes out 48 hours, so it's not going to go out as far as, say, the NAM, which is what I just showed you. Same thing, we'll start off around 2 a.m. Monday. It's snowing as far, you can already tell this is further north. Okay, it's snowing as far north as southern Ohio. It's even snowing in portions of Cincinnati. Huntington, rain is starting to switch to snow in Charleston. It's snowing in Beckley. And I know some of this green you see here, this is probably snow. It's snowing down here in western North Carolina. And we continue to move forward, and we take it all the way to daybreak Monday morning, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. You can already tell all this is further north, and there's just not as much cold air. Now, listen, if we can get precipitation into North Carolina, I think it could fall in the form of snow. This is definitely going to be a dynamic cooling type system. I think there'll be enough cold air aloft for a lot of areas. It's just, are you going to get heavier enough rates to switch any rain to snow? But the HRRR model is just further north, a little bit drier in North Carolina, a lot drier. So it gets snow almost all the way up to Morgantown, West Virginia. It gets snow all the way up to the D.C., Baltimore area. Snow is just further north. Richmond, it's heavier snow. Raleigh, you are trying to switch to snow on this. And as that low pressure tries to develop as we're getting into midday Monday, you try to get some moisture building in the eastern North Carolina, a little back end snow. I want to watch for like a little vort, a piece of energy. It tries to enhance the snow in West Virginia, southwest Virginia, all the way down the northwestern areas of North Carolina, maybe northeastern Tennessee. You can see it happen here right at the end of the run. We only got all the way out to about 1 p.m. on the HRR model, and it's still snowing. It's another quick-hitting snowstorm. And I will call it a snowstorm. Area's got, I think somebody almost recorded 6 inches of snow in Virginia with this event Friday. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this could trend to a higher-end event. I mean, I'm not talking about 6 to 12 inches of snow, but certainly watch it. So, what gives with the global models? The GFS, it continues to be very aggressive. Same thing, we'll start it pretty much in the wee hours of the morning Monday, and then we take it into Monday morning, okay? The blue is snow, green is rain, pretty cut and dry. There's not going to be any ice with this, I don't think. Maybe a little sleet, but freezing rain, I mean, I doubt it. Light snow into Kentucky, the darker blue, this is heavier snow, kind of moderate. And then, I mean, we actually just get flat out heavy snow. This is definitely a snowy scenario for the Tri-Cities of Tennessee, okay? You know, Johnson City. I got a good friend of mine that we're good weather buddies on X and Facebook and just in general, and he lives in this area, and I'm pulling for him like crazy, and anybody else that are winter weather fans up there. But it's snowing for a good chunk of North Carolina on this, and it's plenty cold in Virginia for snow. This is midday Monday, 1 p.m., and then we keep going. This is Monday afternoon. This is Monday evening. You can see a little enhancement here, heavier snow. There's that kind of back end. I want to watch this, kind of a mesoscale feature that could develop right in here as this energy tries to just get going. And then it ends as some flurries in eastern North Carolina and still a little bit of snow in North Carolina and Tennessee. So that's a pretty aggressive run right now. The Euro, we don't have the 18Z Euro. So it might trend more aggressive. I don't know. We only can look at what we got, and that is the 12Z Euro. The 18Z will run here in a bit. So we're getting into Monday morning. You can already tell the Euro doesn't like this as much. Okay, it just has some light to moderate snow up into the central Alps, so West Virginia, and we continue to go, but you can tell how it tries to get going here, and there it is Monday afternoon. I want to watch an enhancement from southern West Virginia into the mountains of Virginia into areas of western North Carolina, maybe northeast Tennessee. You can see some darker blues here with some heavier snow, and then it tapers off. It's just not a big deal. Let's go over what the National Weather Service is showing right now. Like I said, it is going to start in Kentucky first. They're already going for trace amounts, maybe a half an inch in eastern Kentucky. Hazard, Pikeville, half an inch, maybe. So they're going to start conservative, no doubt. Smokies could get a little snow, okay? Johnson City, Mountain City, I mean, they're not going for much, saying about a half an inch in Mountain City. So I could see this increasing. And then we look at the National Weather Service out of Greenville, Spartanburg, covers southwestern North Carolina. Asheville not calling for anything. But we watch the higher favored elevations. Boone going for about an inch. I think this could adjust. We just got to watch. All right, National Weather Service forecast out of, out of Western Virginia, Southern West Virginia, inch totals. They're being conservative right now. And I know I've said this, but rightfully so. I really think this is it's a tough one. I think this is a difficult storm to figure out. But it's very similar. The makeup of this is not really the same, but it's going to impact a lot of the same areas. National Weather Service forecast out of that area. And then we look at Raleigh. Trace amounts already on the board. Roanoke Rapids, I mean, they're already going for around a half an inch. Okay? And then we look at the Roanoke area. Petersburg, Williamsburg, already going for around a half an inch. These could be tweaked. Okay? Now, what about some model guidance? This is the GEFS Ensemble. I don't like this that much because it follows its operational run so tight. I mean, it rides it. I mean, it definitely just rides the same solution as what the GFS is showing. It just piggybacks off of it like crazy. Your GFS Ensemble is definitely aggressive, showing the same areas that are getting impacts from the actual operational GFS. There's a little jackpot right in here in eastern areas of North Carolina of a few inches, and there's certainly a jackpot a few to several inches in areas of Virginia, higher elevations of northwestern North Carolina into southern West Virginia. So, what about the Euro Ensemble? Definitely not as aggressive, but it likes this area. This area is going to get theirs. No doubt about it. You know, Roanoke is going to be another one. Wytheville, however way you pronounce that. You're going to get probably some accumulating snow out of this. Shows a little bit of a signal down in North Carolina, too, of a few tenths of an inch of snow. We'll take that. But then you look at the NAM, which is the aggressive model run. Shows a few inches of snow across North Carolina, but totally whiffs a good chunk of Virginia outside this area. Once you start to get into these blue areas, that's over an inch. Raleigh wants to drop 2 to 3 inches of snow on you. Greenville too. Now listen, I'm telling you, there's a chance we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and this disappears. That's how the NAM is. That's why I tell people all the time, don't get overly wrapped up into the NAM. Okay? But I want to show it to you just to see what it shows, because it could be right. It could be onto something. So what is causing this disturbance? It's pretty cut and dry, really. You see this kind of area of color? This is a vortice in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. It's energy. So this is actually able to dig just enough to sort of begin to pop some energy at the surface in the form of rain or snow. So you can see this vort, we call it energy in the atmosphere. As we're getting into Monday afternoon, evening, it's right over the Carolinas and areas of Virginia. Just because you get this big area of vibrant oranges and reds over your area doesn't mean it's automatically at the surface going to reflect to moisture. It's not how it works, but this is a great thing to look at when we're trying to figure out where some deeper energy in the atmosphere is, and eventually watch for significant developing of a system. So what are my thoughts on all this? Well, I say do not buy the NAM. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, a joy killer. You guys know I'm Team Snow, but I'm never going to let it interfere with what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to wish cast, right? So I think that we should buy the euro right now. Not necessarily the totals of the euro. I just think that we should favor more climo areas, which is Virginia in this case. But I do think there's a better chance that areas of North Carolina could get a little bit of snow. So I'm not going to pick a model which one I'm favoring, but I think that the NAM is too aggressive. And I like what the HRRR model is doing as far as where it has the heaviest moisture, which is in Virginia. But let's wake up tomorrow morning, see what it shows with this, and we'll have you another update. Let's give you some update information on this winter storm ongoing already across the Midwest. So we're going to start off around midnight tonight. The time frame's up here. This is in Eastern time. I did find out a way to switch time zones, but I'm not going to do it here just because we're going to move into Eastern time here. But this is midnight. All right, snow's moving in Chicago. What a great start to winter, by the way, in Chicago, Milwaukee, especially Chicago, an area that's really been gypped with winter weather lately in the last few winters. But heavy snow right over the Midwest. We continue to move this forward, and we make it all the way into tomorrow morning. You're waking up to a quick-hitting snowstorm across lower Michigan, northern areas of Indiana. It's still snowing in Chicago. Listen, I think we're going to get some heavy snowfall rates in Chicago tonight, maybe inch-per-hour rates. I mean, that is some heavy snow. These clippers can really be jam-packed full of aggressive moisture. And then we take into about mid-morning. It's still snowing in Detroit. Definitely a festive day. I think we're going to have some NFL snow games like in Buffalo tomorrow. So if you like a good old snow game, you're probably going to get a couple tomorrow. But this snow begins to move into the northeast, and it loses some steam here. And I still think we're going to have a festive afternoon, evening as far as snowfall. It's just same thing with New England, except the I-95 corridor. I mean, it's been a very Christmassy, festive, winter-like start to winter. I've said this, and I'm going to say it many other times before. It's been just a good old-fashioned start to winter up here. Okay? National Weather Service forecast, I'm not going to show you every single graphic with this. It's kind of a now thing, but we're going to get several inches of snow across areas of Iowa, southern areas of Minnesota. This is kind of moving in now. Northern areas of Illinois, southern areas of Wisconsin is going to get a few to several inches of snow. And there's going to be a couple areas that's going to overachieve. And then as we're getting into tomorrow, we're going to get a couple inches of snow across northern Indiana, even northeastern and northwestern, just northern areas of Ohio, lower Michigan, going to get a few inches of snow. And then we'll look at the northeast with this, and this takes us all the way out to about 1 p.m. Monday, and just the interior sections of New England are going to get a few to several inches of snow. So let's move past this. What's next? And we're just going to take a zoomed in look at the lower 48. What you're seeing here in the blues, it's a lower pressure. It's a trough. It's the 500 millibar upper pattern, okay? The yellows, the orange, the red you see, this is a ridge, okay? Higher pressure typically brings above average temperature. So we're going to start this off with Tuesday morning, 12Z Tuesday. That's Tuesday morning. We're going to keep going. And what you're going to notice is there's continuous troughing, lower pressure over the eastern U.S. And you can see this little lobe right here, kind of, it's almost turning green, going from blue to almost greenish here. This is just a deeper area of the trough digging down with energy associated with it. And this is literally energy in the form of some clipper and some snow activity. So this kind of swings in, the trough digs in. All right, as we're getting into Wednesday of next week, you can see kind of the bluish, the greenish tint of color right here surrounded by the blue. This trough's digging in, okay? And then as we continue, you can see how the trough is digging more now. This is just going to continue to supply a steady feed of cold air, okay? And we have areas of energy kind of riding down the deeper area of this trough. This energy isn't always just going to ride all the way down to the end of the blue. It's going to ride kind of in this area right here. Okay, but regardless, this is just bringing a consistent feed of cold air. Now, I think this first little drop in the trough right here is just going to bring that deep cold air kind of into here. But watch what happens after this. Trough locks in, kind of amplifies even more. You see more of those greens skinning into Friday. And this is a strong signal of a deep dip in the jet. And this is bringing a really, really cold air source right down into the central to eastern half of the country. Ridge is spiking here, and literally a piece of the polar vortex almost gets dislodged from the higher latitudes and dives down. Like I said, this is getting in the next Friday, about 6 days from now. Okay, so cold air drops down, Arctic outbreak potential with this kind of look. And it kind of continues and swings across the northeast into Atlantic Canada. And we just get some nasty cold air. And we can continue to have a feed of cold air. Even though you're seeing this big area of yellowish orange over the area, this doesn't reflect what the temperatures are at the surface. Just the upper pattern. Okay, but we're watching this. Now, inside the immediate trough, there's going to be energy at the surface, whether that's northern stream energy. But to me, this looks like aggressive northern stream energy with this trough. But this is cold air diving in from the higher latitudes. A piece of the polar vortex gets dislodged. And I think this has a lot to do with another stretching of the polar vortex, another southern, a dislodgement of the polar vortex. And it's literally getting dislodged. If you look at the timing, Bam made a really good video. BAM, look it up on YouTube. He really gets a lot more into it than I do. He explains it very well, but he made a lot of sense. You know, we're getting a stretching kind of dislodgement of the polar vortex again, and it times up perfectly with how this trough, this piece of the polar vortex, drops down and brings a lot of cold air. It gets dislodged, and it comes to our side of the globe in the lower 48 in Canada, North America. Okay? So in response, you get well below average temperatures. Okay, the blues, I mean, if you look down here at the bottom of your screen, it's a few degrees below average. Okay, the greens, I mean, this is getting into 10, 15 degrees below average. The Barney colors and the whitish colors inside those Barney colors, I mean, guys, that's 25, 35 degrees below average. I mean, it gets so below average that they don't even have a color for it. So we're getting into next week. I really think this comes in the form of a couple cold fronts, but I think it's the second or third one that's just the deep Arctic air. So we're getting into next Friday, next Saturday, and you can see extremely cold air diving into the central to eastern U.S. The thing that's been interesting to me is how this has trended a little bit further west. So now areas of the west that were, I would say the central U.S., areas of the central U.S., like the south central, especially down to Texas, that we're thinking, you know, we're going to warm up next week. I would say not so fast. Maybe sometime during the work week, but next weekend. I mean, this is a shot of cold air. If we look at some individual model runs, the GFS for 2 runs in a row has showed quite literally an Arctic outbreak, an intense one also. When we look at the central U.S. first, this is starting off Thursday, December the 11th. You know, we're getting a warm up across the southern plains, but not for long. And then Friday, and then there it is, getting in the Friday evening. 25, 30 degree below average temperatures. I mean, that's brutally cold. Your average high and low temperatures for the Midwest and the upper Midwest for this time of year is already cold. So if you get 30 degrees below that, I mean, that's Arctic. It's like tundra type stuff. All right, and you continue, and this goes right towards the eastern U.S. Okay, but that is a shot of just really potent cold air through the middle of the country. And you get another shot at the end, you know, I hadn't even seen this yet, you know, getting into, say, early the week after. So we're getting into the 15th, okay? And then we're getting into the 16th. And then who knows what happens after that, right? And just a closer look at the eastern U.S. And let's go on and update this. The eastern U.S., what does it look like? Here it comes. You get a warm-up kind of Thursday into Friday. And then, boom, here comes an Arctic air mass Friday into Saturday. That is extremely cold air. And let's keep it going. We'll go all the way through the weekend, next weekend. And here comes another shot of Arctic air. And goodness, just a very cold run. And then another one, right? Goodness, another one at the end. I mean, we're getting into fantasy land. So it just keeps coming. And listen, the pattern supports this. But it supports cold air. But are we going to get moisture from this? But I just want to kind of look at this really quick. Look how cold this is for this first Arctic blast that we're confident is going to happen. We don't know if this is going to be this cold. But, I mean, the temperatures are dropping during the day like Friday and a Saturday. Okay, and then we start to get, these are high temperatures predicted off the GFS for next Saturday, a week from today. Just brutally cold temperatures, high temperatures. These aren't lows. And then we get into Sunday morning and look at those low temperatures. Record shattering. So this is backed up by the Climate Prediction Center. Okay, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. They're doubling down on this. The purple colors right here, this is where their confidence the highest on below average temperatures. But I think that this is going to, double down even tomorrow. Okay, and if you notice, this is backed off to the west now. Arctic outbreak, I think, is on the way. How cold, record breaking, we got to figure it out. But the Climate Prediction Center is already honking the horn as far as a moderate risk of below normal temperatures. So it's already signaled on this too. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, cool, cold air. Are we going to get any winter weather from this? Any significant snowstorms? We don't know. What I'll tell you is as we start off next Tuesday, you're going to see areas of green, greenish blue, and then yellow and orange. This is energy in the atmosphere. It's to smooth out your ensemble. You're going to see a lot of energy coming from the northern stream. And I think just this pattern in general is northern stream dominated. But as we're getting into late next week, you're going to see how a lot of energy begins to dive down a little bit more. Still northern stream dominated. The southern stream is just quiet. And that's typical La Nina type stuff. It typically is quiet. That's why usually in La Ninas it's quite dry across the southern tier of the country. But the northern stream is active and it's trying to dig. And if you can dig this enough, then you can still pop off a significant winter storm with just a northern stream dominated type pattern. And you can see how there's a lot of digging right in here as we're getting into Friday. Now the GFS and its ensembles are much more aggressive. And I'm just kind of showing you one run. So I'm just going to focus on the eastern U.S. because there's nothing crazy at all showing up for the central U.S. So please don't think I'm jumping over you. But I think if there's going to be any winter storm potential in the time frame of this Arctic outbreak that could be coming on the way, it's going to be for the eastern U.S. And we start out Thursday, a lot of lake effect snows. Man, we're going to freeze up these lakes up here fast if we keep getting these shots of cold air. The first kind of push of cold air comes down Thursday, and I think we could have energy associated with it. I don't think it's going to be cold enough for snow right now for areas of like Tennessee, but man, it dives down some snow as far south as Kentucky, and it actually turns into another quick-hitting snowstorm for areas of the Central Apps. Okay, that kind of moves in and moves out. We get some northwest flow stuff as far south as the Smokies. Okay. And then we continue to get that all weekend, next weekend, and who knows what happens after that. But in that time frame, there's no significant storms showing up. You can tell right here a low pressure tries to pop off, but it doesn't work out. Now, what about the GFS? It's a different story. I think we are starting to lock in this event later next week because it keeps showing up. GFS shows it too. It even shows some really heavy snow over West Virginia. It even shows some snow across the Mid-Atlantic. We get into next Friday. Here comes that deep trough digging down. Energy associated with it. It's snowing across Middle Tennessee, not a forecast. And it even starts snowing across the mountains of just the southern Appalachian Mountains. A lot of energy associated with the trough up here. Lake effect snow, just a lot of energy. And then this thing digs enough and then pops off a winter storm as we're getting into Saturday afternoon. Now, don't look at this and tell everybody and their brother's uncle's pet kangaroo that we're going to get a snowstorm in North Carolina next Saturday, a week from today. But it shows the potential for a winter storm if this trough digs properly. And as we continue, sure enough, delivers a just a flat out snowstorm, very cold snowstorm too. I mean, it wouldn't be there wouldn't be a temperature issue if this is the way it played out, which it's not. It always is going to be different, but has a major snowstorm in the mid-Atlantic into New England. Okay, and then it heads on out. And then what happens after that? I hadn't even seen the rest of the run, so I'm actually going to look at it with you guys real quick just to do it. But yeah, nothing really crazy. Well, there goes another crazy looking trough. That would be crazy. Yeah, so just all kinds of crazy stuff showing up on the GFS, guys. And what causes the GFS to pop off a snowstorm? We're going back to looking at energy in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. You see this huge area right here that's pretty much an eyesore on your screen, and the orange, the red, stuff like that. That is your energy diving down. Okay, and watch how it's what we call positively tilted. Okay, so right here it's kind of tilting like this. I don't like that color. It's tilting like this, right? Now watch how it kind of begins to tilt and kind of go like this. When it does that, it's able to strengthen. Okay? Watch. See how it goes neutrally tilted here and then goes negatively tilted there. So it's able to dig and then develop a low pressure, and then you get what I just showed you on the GFS run. Man, we got a lot to figure out going forward, guys. I mean, a lot. And I'm going to make a quick video sometime in the next couple of days. I want to remind y'all, I am leaving for vacation Wednesday night, the 10th. Okay? I'm probably going to bring a laptop with me, but the videos are not going to be as crisp. But there's just too much to talk about to just not make a video. So I'm probably going to still make a couple videos. I can't guarantee them every day, but man, there's a lot to go over. And I knew it when I booked this vacation a few months ago that it was going to be active. And sure enough, here it is. And I might actually see snow on my trip when I go to the mountain. I'm going to Gatlinburg, the 10th through the 14th. I'm hoping I do. It'd be awesome just to get an all-out snowstorm. It looks like it's going to be very cold for the second half of the trip. That's for sure. So, but we'll continue to figure this one out. Appreciate y'all's support. God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful night. We'll wake up, check everything out, and do it all over again tomorrow morning. God bless.